Hi everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another movie review. Thanks to the technology that allows me to view instant movies on my movie queue from Netflix via my Wii, I was able to see a movie from 2002 called Ladies in Lavender, starring Maggie Smith and Dame Judi Dench. And this is a 20th century period drama that happens in the year 1936. And the premise of this film is that Janet, played by Maggie, and Ursula, I think I got it wrong. Janet, played by Maggie, and Ursula, played by Judy. They find a man who washed up on the shore, and he doesn't speak English. Apparently he's Polish. And we find out much later in the film that Janet speaks fluent, well, seemingly so, German, and Andrea, the man that they find, he understands her. And Ursula becomes smitten with him. And it's really quite heartrending to watch because she's in love with him, but there is another woman who becomes involved named Olga later on in the duration of the film, and there is a happenstance that occurs when when Janet is playing the piano to help Andrea heal. That he hates the piano and he wants to hear a particular song. Actually, she's playing Romeo and Juliet, the theme from Romeo and Juliet, on the piano, and he says to her, no, it sounds better on the violin. So she gets her cellist friend, not cellist, but violinist friend who has his fiddle with him, and he comes over to the house and he plays the Mexican hat dance, and it's it's pretty passable. That he says, "Give me the violin," and of course the violinist gives Andrea the violin, and Andrea starts to play it, and it's nothing short of breathtaking. It is just absolutely stunning. It just leaves you breathless when you hear him play for the first time. You think, holy smokes, it's just utterly miraculous, and it is absolutely remarkable. And Olga hears it, and she's not English, and we find out that she is probably Russian, maybe, but we're not really given much elaboration as to where she's from or to how Andrea ended on the shore. To begin with, we are given a flashback in one part of the film that you hear other men shouting to him in Polish, and you see him frantically fighting to get to the surface of the ocean to get some air, and he's drowning, but we don't really know what led up to that, and that's my only nag about this particular period drama. But beyond that, it is definitely worth a watch and definitely worth having in your collection, because it is just a sumptuous, spectacular, magical film, and many times it's very sad with Ursula's longing and her tossing pennies into the fountain of youth. But it's also very uplifting, I found, because as a lover of music, I just the violin music is very much similar to what you would hear in the red violin. It's just unbelievable. And then I found out who was responsible for playing the violin at the end, and it's a Bloomington native, Joshua Bell. And I thought, yay! I was so happy to read that because um, it just makes me glad to see that there's a Bloomington native who everybody is going to recognize, and it's that amount of talent, that kind of ability to create such miraculous, marvelous, splendiferous music is just it's enough to bring you to tears. And in fact, it did many times when I was watching the movie. Um, and I really enjoyed it. I think this is a 4-star film, no doubt in my mind, and 2 thumbs way up. If you like period dramas and want to learn a little bit more about the time in which this actually occurred, um, it's actually very intriguing. And I think this occurred after World War One. I'm thinking in Britain it was known as the Great War. Yeah, they called it the Great War. Um, but it's probably one of my favorite eras in time besides World War Two. And I adored this movie from start to finish, and I think it's just it's a work of art and must be savored. And the soundtrack to this movie, if anybody can find it for me, please send it my way. As the music is just absolutely gorgeous, just bewitching, so soothing. Now I could get into a Captain Simmons and Space Monkeys reference there, but I won't. Nerd. But anyway, strangely soothing. Darn it, I did it. Anyway, I really enjoyed this movie, and I give it, like I said, 2 thumbs way up, and it's well worth a look if you're a fan of Judi Dench or Maggie Smith, and if you want to hear the resplendent music of Joshua Bell and are interested in how life was like in the 30s, then I would definitely recommend this to you. Also, if you're an Anglophile, yeah, highly, highly, highly recommended, because the British humor is different than American humor. They're a little bit more subtle, and then they'll say things rather taciturn, and they don't explain everything right away, and that's typical Brit wit, as I like to call it. But I love it. I eat it up, as I'm an Anglophile. I'm into it right now. But it's a great film, just absolutely lovely, and definitely worth your time watching.